Becka didn't just kill her father. She lit the fuse. While everyone on social media is crying about that bathtub scene, and yeah, it was brutal, nobody's talking about the actual bomb that just got armed underneath Gilead's entire power structure. Because Aunt Lydia didn't just allow this to happen, she needed it to happen. The blood on Becca's white nightgown isn't just a symbol of revenge, it's fuel. And Lydia's been building this fire for seasons. I'm going to show you exactly what she's planning, and why next week's finale might end with Gilead burning from the inside out. Let's rewind to the scene that started everything, because most people watched it wrong. Daisy walks into Dr. Grove's office, ready to play the victim. Except Grove doesn't touch her. Maybe he doesn't trust foreign girls. Maybe she's too much of a freethinker for him to feel safe. Either way, he doesn't take the bait. So Daisy improvises. She tears her own blouse open, starts hyperventilating, bursts into the waiting room screaming, and tells the guardian standing there that Grove tried to assault her. And it works. But here's where it gets interesting. When Lydia sits Daisy down privately and closes the door, she looks at this girl and essentially says, "I know you're lying, and I don't care." Think about what that moment actually means. Lydia isn't naive. She's been running this system long enough to know exactly what Grove has been doing to those girls. She knew about Agnes. She knew about Hulda. And she's been sitting on it, because in Gilead, a powerful man's reputation is worth more than a dozen girls' pain. She couldn't move on Grove without the right cover. Daisy just handed her that cover on a silver platter. The torn blouse, the witnesses, the public scene. That's not just an accusation anymore. That's evidence. And Lydia, with that tiny cold smile, knows exactly what she's going to do with it. But what she's actually planning goes so much deeper than punishing one dentist. Now, here's the part that the actress Mattea Conforti said left her physically bruised and mentally wrecked for a full day afterward. Becka confronts her father at dinner. She asks him directly, "Is it true?" And Grove, smooth as ever, denies it. But his denial is way too specific. He says he never laid a finger on that Pearl girl. Not, "I've never touched anyone." Not, "These accusations are insane." That Pearl girl. Becka catches it immediately. And that night she picks up her mother's gardening shears, walks into the bathroom where her father is soaking in the tub, and drives the blade into his chest. He fights back. She stabs him again. Dr. Grove dies in the water, and Becka walks out, white nightgown absolutely soaked in red. Now, and this is the part people keep getting wrong. Becka didn't snap. She didn't lose her mind. She did exactly what Gilead trained her to do. Think about episode 1, the hanging bodies, the salvagings at school, the aunts standing in front of little girls and teaching them that this public violent punishment is what men who commit these crimes deserve. Becka didn't invent that justice system. She just applied it to the man sitting in her bathroom. The white nightgown drenched in blood becomes something else entirely when she shows up at Agnes's door. It's not just evidence of what she did. It's a declaration. "I did this for you. I would do anything for you." And that's what makes what happens next so completely devastating. Becka arrives at Agnes's house in the middle of the night, still wearing the nightgown, still covered in her father's blood. She tells Agnes, "He can't hurt you anymore." She's calm, almost peaceful, like she's completed something sacred. Agnes doesn't panic. She's quiet and careful. She gets Becka into the bath, talks to her gently, helps wash away the evidence. And when Becka asks Agnes to run away with her, "Just the two of us, right now," Agnes says yes. Then she leaves the room and goes straight to her parents. Now, Agnes didn't mean to betray Becka. She genuinely believed Commander Mackenzie would get Becka medical help. She thought she was saving her. That's the cruelest part of this whole thing, because the betrayal isn't malicious. It's just catastrophically, heartbreakingly naive. Mackenzie calls Garth. Garth shows up, tells Becka she needs to see a doctor, leads her outside, and the eyes are waiting. Becca gets thrown into a van, screaming, hands on the bars, looking back at Agnes, who is standing there realizing in real time that she just handed her best friend to the exact institution they've both been afraid of their entire lives. Mattea Conforti said in interviews that Becca's feeling of betrayal is shallow, that underneath it, her love for Agnes is so much bigger that she can't fully blame her. She even said, and pay close attention to this, expect Becca to be stronger than you think she is. That line, that specific line, that's not an actor being optimistic about her character. That's a hint. And here's what I think it means for the finale. Becca is in an ICE detention cell right now. On paper, she murdered a respected Gilead dentist. The expected punishment is a public salvaging, a full execution, sins aired out loud, the whole brutal spectacle. But do you seriously think Aunt Lydia is going to let that happen? Because here's what's been hiding in plain sight all season. Lydia has been quietly, methodically building a secret archive. Documents, records, evidence of crimes committed by Gilead's commanders, stored away, waiting for the right moment. She's been playing the long game, positioned inside the system, while slowly assembling the weapons to tear it apart. Dr. Grove's death and Becca's arrest just handed her the perfect story. A young girl who grew up inside Gilead, who followed everything she was taught, who applied the exact justice the aunts preached, and now she's in a cell waiting to be executed for it. While the commanders who covered for Grove, who dismissed Agnes and Hulda as confused, walk free. That's not just hypocrisy. That's a weapon. And Lydia knows exactly how to use it. In the finale, I think Lydia turns Becca into a martyr, not by letting her die, but by making sure every Pearl Girl and every Plum knows why she's there. She cracks open the archive. She shows the girls what the commanders have actually been doing. And the outrage that's been simmering all season, in Agnes, in Daisy, in Becca, in all of them, finally has a direction to explode in. The season was already renewed for season 2, which tells you something important. This finale isn't wrapping anything up neatly. It's detonating a charge. The walls of Gilead don't fall from the outside. They crack from within. And Agnes, carrying the guilt of what she did to Becca, might be exactly the person who picks up the microphone and leads the uprising from the inside. Marat Sade, the play the episode is named after, argues that even revolution through blood and violence can be justified if the system is rotten enough. The show just spent 9 episodes proving that this system absolutely is. So, here's what I need from you right now in the comments below. Does Agnes deserve forgiveness? She handed Becca over to the eyes out of love and stupidity, but the result is the same either way. Does the intention matter, or did she cross a line that can't be uncrossed? And do you think Lydia moves to protect Becca in the finale, or does she sacrifice her to make the story even louder? Drop it below. The finale hits May 27th, and we're going to break it apart the second it drops. Hit the bell if you want to be there for that one, because this is the kind of ending that's going to need a full autopsy. See you next week.